It was loud, it was obnoxious, it was brutal, it was fast, it was noisy. It was unlike anything I had ever encountered before. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, have you ever shunned something out of your life that just didn't make sense to you? Shunned something, put it away, never even gave it a second chance. I did exactly just that with a certain type of music that happens to be a really big part of my life today. I want to bring you into my journey on how that came about. I knew that I always loved music. Since I was a little kid, I had a tape player and I went to elementary school listening to music. At that time, it was a lot of Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. And why my mom even let me listen to that at that age, I have no idea. Still. And that always went on. Everywhere I went, I needed to have music, whether that be in my parents' car as a child. I never thought about playing anything. I later gained a new group of friends in high school. This is where I met my best friend, Steven. Steven and I are still best friends to this day. Steven and I, we had a connection. Besides wearing shorts in the wintertime, we bonded over something more importantly, which is music. He loved music. I invited Steven over one day after school to do what we always did in high school, and that's play video games. We didn't have any jobs, or skateboard. So Steven came over, but he had something different with him. He brought a guitar. Now, till this day, I still don't actually know why Steven had the guitar. And I've given this speech before, and I still haven't asked him why he brought the guitar. But he brought a guitar. And he started playing, I'm not sure how long he had been playing at this point, but he started playing just a couple notes for me. And he played the CD. I was blown away. It sounded just like the CD that I've never been around musicians. I was blown away. And these are the notes that he played. And for those of you who don't know, that's System of a Down, a band that I never heard of at the time. And I was inspired. I was challenged. I told Steven, can you leave this here with me tonight? I want to do what you did. I want to practice it. So Steven left the guitar with me. Nights turned into days, days turned into weeks, weeks into months, months into years, years into an obsession. I couldn't stop. I had developed a love of a new art form that I never even thought was possible for myself. I started learning a lot of classical metal, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, that type of stuff. I also got into Spanish band in high school, did Spanish, I mean my last name is Garcia. Did country stuff as well. And I noticed that I put in at least 10 to 12 hours a day, and I was surpassing most of my peers at this point. I'd acquired some new friends, and these friends listened to a little bit of a different genre than I'd been exposed to. They listened to death metal, and they recommended a band called Dying Fetus. I was like, wow, okay. And at that time, there wasn't streaming, there wasn't YouTube, there wasn't easily accessible music like there is today. There was no Spotify. So I actually went out and purchased a CD. I had no idea what to expect. I brought it home, I put it in my tape player, CD player, and it sounded horrible. All I heard was just absolute static. I could not make any sense of any of it. The vocals were gurgling, the drums were fast. The guitar, forget about it. It sounded like absolute white noise to me. I put the CD away, never to be thought of again. That didn't stop my playing, I still continued on. And as the years progressed, I even got into a few other things like alternative metal, Disturbed, Korn, bands that they would play on the radio. And kept going with that. It wasn't until one summer day where I was cleaning out my closet and the CD fell right out. I'd forgotten all about it. It had been a few years since I've even given it a second listen, so I thought, hey, let's give it another try. So I put the CD in, but something was different this time. It wasn't just noise to me. It was clear. It was a moment of clarity. I could hear every single note, every harmony, every time signature, every technique that I had been practicing on guitar here in front of me. It was angry and aggressive, yet it was beautiful. It was a beautiful composition. It was classical music on steroids. And that's when I fell in love with the genre. Now, can anyone tell me the difference of these two pieces of music right here? For a musician, there's besides time signatures, besides everything you see here, this is a classical piece, that is a death metal piece. Put this in front of any classical musician or vice versa, there is no difference here. These genres are each other with different effects. This genre is responsible for inspiring me to become a musician, to start a band, and it's given me new opportunities to travel, meet a new network of people, and polish a skill that I already been practicing for years. And I continue to do that till this day. There's a few samples I want to share with you here. Take a listen. Tell me what you think this sounds like. Anyone?
Tron.
Zelda!
Exactly.
Nintendo.
It reminds me of video games, and I grew up playing Nintendo during my time. I have another sample I want to play for you. Tell me what this sounds like. Anyone?
Harpsichord.
Yeah. Classical.
It kind of
Journey.
sounds like a video game too.
Sounds more like a castle league, right? You're not.
This is the right one.
Toastmasters?
Yeah.
I'm here for a half hour just to say hi.
Well, what if I told you that both of these clips are actually a death metal song, transposed? These exact notes and time signatures come from my favorite technical death metal band. Does it still sound like noise? Here's the actual song. And that's what I hear when I listen to this music. It's no longer distorted, it's clarity, it's classical music. Oftentimes you'll see musicians in this genre start with classical pieces on guitar. They complement each other. More importantly, what else has death metal taught me or allowed me to think about? Death metal has not only taught me not to judge music, but it's really taught me to expand my taste into a whole other world, an underground world. It's something that isn't marketed, that's not promoted, that you won't see on billboards, that you can't go into a cafe and listen to, moved me and affected my life in such a way, then maybe the same can be said for other genres of music. And I challenge all of you to not listen to what MTV plays, to not listen to what the radio force feeds you, not listen to the ads that you see, the billboards that you see, and actually go out and venture for your own and discover what else is out there. There's a whole world of music, and I would hate for anyone not to be included in that because someone has more money in marketing, a bigger budget, more promotion, more contacts than someone who is just as talented that could be there for someone who needs it. Suicide attempts. In the morning sometimes when I need a little pick-me-up, I use music. When I go to the gym, I use music to get me through the workout. Music is everything. And I personally feel there are no bad tastes in music, just different ones.